good people. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations, a new show that celebrates the diversity and richness of Black culture. Join us as we delve into our individual mental health and overall mental health of our community. From the latest trends to the timeless coping mechanisms, we'll showcase the best of what it means to be mentally healthy. So sit back, relax, and get ready to feel the vibrations of Black excellence. Let's get started.
Hey y'all, happy Monday. Hey sis.
Hey.
You acting like a deer in headlights right now. You good?
Oh, I'm a little sleepy. I'm here.
Yeah, you forgot the show was about to come on. I mean, listen, happy Monday, Black people. If we're going to be anything today, if we're going to be dope and we're going to be Black, y'all already know we're going to have to touch on it for a little bit.
This
and
was
then
a
we're going
day.
to get to, we're going to get to the show. But listen, shout out to all my Black people out there, okay? My Black and brown people, all right? If I've never been proud to be Black any other time, this weekend, yeah, y'all represent it. And that's how I need us to step every single time. Okay, but before we get into that, welcome to Melanated Vibrations. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. I don't know about y'all, but where I'm at, it just poured, storm, wind was blowing, it got super dark. My block is flooding.
Your block flood every time.
But the crazy part is, right, before they decided to fix the street, rip the street up and fix it, it wasn't flooding. It wasn't until after they fixed the streets. And now suddenly the street floods. I said, somebody know what the fuck they doing. But that's, I don't work for the streets department. I'm just saying. But in my mind, because I grew up on this block and raised in this house, somebody don't know what they doing. So that's that. So I hope that everyone is in safe, that you are not driving in this weather. If you are, please, 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 please be safe. Pay attention to the road. No texting and driving, no drinking and driving, none of that. It's crazy. For some reason, when weather gets crazy, people drive like extra stupid. Like they forget all the rules of traffic, all the rules of driving when it's inclement weather. I just don't understand it. But if you are not driving, you are home, then you are in a good place. I hope that today was an amazing day for you. You had an amazing weekend. I had a very restful weekend. I went out of town this weekend, but it was very relaxing, and it definitely is what I needed. So, how was your weekend, sis? I know you had homework to do.
Yeah, it was okay.
Okay. Master's program kicking your ass yet?
It's interesting.
Yeah, just give it some time. You ain't seen nothing yet. So, if you are on the stream, please make sure that you go and share the stream. Tag your friends in. Hey, big exclusive. Yes, please make sure you share the stream. Tag your friends in YouTube. Make sure they are subscribing to the Big Exclusive Network, where you can find all of the mini shows that we have on the network. Now, I don't want y'all to think, okay, today was a good day. Today was a good day. And I don't want y'all to think, just because I don't got my Melanated Vibrations shirt on, because I had to be dope and Black. Because, okay, I don't want y'all to forget, baby, we still got merch. Because I'm going to represent regardless. Okay, you understand what I'm saying to you? I got the braids. I'm feeling real Black. Real empowered. Okay? So go on ahead over to the bigexclusivemerch.com, where you can purchase all of the merch for all of the shows. We got mugs, we got shirts. Wintertime is fall time's coming up. We will have sweatshirts. You can rock the gear. And then when your friends ask you like, oh, that's dope, where you get that from? You can go on and tell them. Hey, Reek, shout out to Reek, who is the host of Women's Wellness Wednesdays, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Feeling real Black today, honey. Tell them again, okay? Where you can go and get all of, I don't even know, like a good word to like encompass all that Reek gives to us. Like, it's not even just about the women. I mean, it's focused on us, but it's not just about the women. Like the educational piece that comes with her show, oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. You'd be a fool to miss it. Again, we give you everything you need Monday through Friday. We start here on Monday with mental health. And because we're the first show of the week, we get to talk about some things And then it gets to trickle down for the rest of the week. So I love that for us. Okay, baby, I'm feeling real black today too. Okay, dope and black on Melanated Vibrations, baby. And if this is going to offend anybody that is not of the melanated hue, baby, I do give you permission to leave now because we're going to talk about it. So let's get into what happened on August 5th. I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, August 5th and January 6th, the same.
Hey, Tiff.
Hey, Tiff. Thanks as always. That's our El Presidente. Okay, got to set the tone, big exclusive. Oh. So let's get into it. Okay, ciao. Mm-hmm. To find out with some people, it'd be those people. So for those that do not know what I'm talking about, for whatever reason, I don't understand. It's all over social media. So this weekend that just passed, there was a security guard doing his job, an African-American security guard, right? And so there was a boat that was docked and parked somewhere that it should not have been. And so this fine gentleman, this king, this black king, asked the non-melanated, the colonizers, the mayonnaise people, the clear people, however you want to refer to them, he asked them to move. He even showed them why they could not be docked there and that there was a boat that was incoming and why they needed to move. Now, the colonizers, doing what they do best because they think that their privilege is above everyone else, decided to assault this Nubian king, decided to put his hands on him. Now, listen, men go and exchange words, women go and exchange words. That's what happens. My problem is not that y'all got into an altercation, even though I'm not sure why your parents did not raise you to keep your hands to yourself. Because in a black household, baby, yeah. And that's the problem. They weren't raised in a black household. Clearly, it shows. And so he decided to put his hands on this black man. And not only was it him, then all the other mayonnaise people that clearly had sat out in the sun too long because they were burnt and they were red.
They were red.
It was red as shit. They ain't put no sunscreen on, and if they
did,
redneck red. They came down and decided to assault this black man who was just doing his job. You know, us as black people, we do mind the business that pays us. And so that is truly what this man was doing, minding the business that was paying him. And so not only was there one mayonnaise person, but then another mayonnaise person came. And then a Karen. Came. Y'all know who Karen is. I don't got to go into detail, black people. Y'all understand the language.
She hopped off their boat.
And then some other mayonnaise colonizers came. And then they proceeded to jump this African-American man who, again, was minding the business that paid him. Asked them nicely, can you please move your boats? And that is where it went left. And so as they began to assault this man, because it was one of him and about 6 or 7 of them, the other African-Americans that were standing there in awe. Okay, that's all he was doing, Rick, minding his business. So that's what we do as black people, baby. We mind our business. And so the other black people were in awe. Okay? And that's what I'm saying. It was not to be black. And so they saw this and it did not sit well in their spirit. And I can imagine why so, because it wouldn't have sat well in my spirit either. I'm going to just take the charge and y'all can call Mike. That's my attorney. And so the first black man ran down and came and helped him, was trying to get the people out the way. And the dude was standing over top of him. And then you saw another black man run down. But my favorite was the 16-year-old man.
His whole college is paid for. His school supplies paid for. He got money.
He mentioned to the honorable folding chair. And so he jumped out the boat, right? The boat that was trying to dock. And jumped out and swam. Now they say black people can't swim. And I like to just clear it up that is not true. Some of us just choose not to learn. But it is not true that all black people cannot swim.
You see that?
And so he swam across. Because he's 16. So he wasn't tired from swimming. He swam across, got up there, took off his shoes, and was ready and was with the shits. And so the black African-American kings proceeded to go and approach the colonizers that decided that they wanted to jump this innocent black man. They said, baby, what we gonna do is go get our lick back. And so that is what they did. And so a brawl ensued, and it was a lot of fighting, and these black people didn't really all know each other, right? Some of them were off the boat, some of them were crew members. But what I'm saying is we stuck together. And so united,
it was the crew members. Big.
United we stand. If we could just stand together as black people, that's it. Do you see how powerful we are in numbers? So not only did the crew people help this man, but random people off the boat helped. And then when the Karens kept getting in there trying to hit these black men, black queens, because you know that's what we do. We protect black men. Can't speak for all of us black women, but for those of us that do protect our black men, yeah, yes. They did what needed to be done and shot out.
Bitch. Homer diet.
Okay, shout out to those black Nubian queens that did what needed to be done. I got so much respect for them women, and like I said, if I was there, I would have done the same thing, because at what point is enough enough? And so that's just a little background. But for all the people that are upset and they do not understand the history of Alabama and kind of the riverfront and all the things, let me give you a little educational piece, because that is what we do here on Melanated Vibrations. So did you know that Alabama was the domestic slave trade? That is where slave trading happened. So in 1808, the United States Congress banned the importation of slaves from Africa. Listen, didn't they? Listen, because if Ludacris was playing in the background, they would have told him, move, bitch, get out of the way. Okay. That chair, that infamous chair. See, but oh boy did OD. I'm not going to hold you. The black man at the end, when he got tasked, harassed by the cops, he did OD. Like, why you had to smack that white woman in the head? But I understand your frustration, good brother, and you let us know what
he felt it in spirit to smack her.
The ancestors was talking through all of them, because again, this is where the slave trade happened. And so I ain't mad at nobody there. And y'all let us know when y'all need us to put money on your books, a Cash App, or GoFundMe or something. We got to stick together. And so in 1808, the United States Congress banned the importation of slaves from Africa. At the same time, the high price of cotton and the development of cotton gin caused for the demand for slave labor to skyrocket in the lower South. The domestic slave trade grew to meet their demands. Over the next 50 years, slave traders forcibly transferred hundreds of thousands of enslaved people from the upper South to Alabama and the lower South. So between 1808 and 1860, the enslaved population of Alabama grew from less than 40,000 to more than 435,000. Alabama was one of the largest slave populations in America at the start of the Civil War. In order to meet the high demands for slaves in Alabama in the early 1800s, slave traders chained African Americans together and forced them to march hundreds of miles from the upper South to the lower South, including Montgomery, where this occurred. The overland transportation of enslaved people by foot was slow and expensive. Smacked the shit out of her, and I was here for it. And I was here when they started stumping the white woman. So I ain't gonna hold y'all. I was so proud. Y'all don't even know. The overland transportation of enslaved people by foot was slow and expensive. By the 1840s, slave traders began to take advantage of two new modes of transportation: the steamboat and the railroads. Steamboats carried slaves from Mobile and New Orleans up to Alabama River to Montgomery. Railroads constructed with slave labor connected Montgomery's train station to West Point, Georgia, and lines extending to the upper South. Hundreds of enslaved people began arriving by rail and by boat each day in Montgomery, turning the city into a principal slave trading center in Alabama. Enslaved people who arrived at the riverfront or at the train station were paraded up Commerce Street to be sold in the city's slave market. I feel like the ancestors was just trying to get their lick back. But listen, I ain't gonna go into all of this, okay? I just wanted to give y'all a little taste because, again, it's called Melanated Vibrations, so you know I'm always here for my people. But stay tuned. At 8:30, Big Exclusive has a special episode that will follow Melanated Vibrations directly, where we are going to talk about it. We are going to have an open discussion as Black people. Okay? Y'all see the chairs. My favorite part. I ain't gonna hold you. If y'all know, like I know, Black people, we don't need to be licensed to carry. We gotta go and get licensed to carry to get these chairs, baby. Okay? These dumb chairs that they use at Vacation Bible School when you're sitting outside. Okay, these them picnic chairs. Okay, baby, we've always had those in our pocket. You better go and put you one in your car. Okay, and when a Karen or Ken act up, baby, just go hit them with the chair one time. Okay, that's all I'm saying. You ain't always got to pull out a gun. So make sure y'all stay tuned. Big exclusive and the special guests are going to dive into exactly what this is. But I just wanted to give a little history about kind of Montgomery, Alabama, what happened this weekend. Hey, Deandra, and why I am so proud to be Black in America. I mean, I've always been proud to be Black, but this one just tops the cake. If we can just stick together as Black people, hey, royalty, we can do this. A race war is not something that they and that's what it is, Greek. A Vacation Bible School. Okay, that's what it is. The colonizers do not want a race war, because if we actually stick together and stop killing each other, we are more powerful in numbers.
This gonna be good.
This ain't what they want. I ain't mad at none of them, because I would have gladly took the charge too. You said right over left. Let me go and get that for you. Right. Okay. Not too tight. Listen, it is what it is. So that's my current event, but let's get into the show today. So we are going to talk about STDs in the Black community. But before we get into that, again, don't forget to make sure that you purchase your merch from, and that's it. Don't make me pop up, okay? Because like what's coming out is going to be a chair. BigExclusiveMerch.com. And then I want y'all to go on over there and head over to iCraft Mark and go and buy y'all some candles. Shout out to Reek on the candles. Okay, I need y'all to go on over there and buy yourself some candles. See, we a one-stop shop, baby. You can buy whatever you need. Okay? And boom, got that candle, period. Okay? So you can go get your clothes from here, and then when you're done showing off your stuff outside and you come home, take your bath, take your shower, you light that candle, you do your zen. Okay, and then you can also go to TyrekaBright.com. Okay? And then I need y'all to go in there and go get her book. Okay, that's what I really need y'all to go on to do. The book is $5. Y'all can spare $5, baby. We cough out $5. Okay, I need y'all to go in there and get that self-help book. Okay, and I need y'all to read it. Okay, and she's gonna add the candles to the shop, and she does pop-up shops too. Okay, so I need y'all to go in and support this Black Nubian queen. Okay, and then Big Exclusive got all the stuff. Okay, his daughter sells the lip glosses. Okay, they do the shea butter. Okay, get that skin hydrated. The winter time is coming up, y'all. So y'all know, like I know, y'all better go on and get what y'all need for the fall and the winter time, because
who likes to be ashy in the winter?
You're gonna need that. You're gonna need that body butter. Okay, that regular lotion ain't gonna do. So ladies, okay, fellas, whoever, if you need that lip gloss, you need that body butter, y'all better go on over there and head on over. Big Exclusive got the goods. That's all I'm saying. That's my spill. Now, don't play with us, okay? We give you all you need right here in this Black network. So STDs. So, and that's it. And that's it, Teresa. A shout out to Teresa, baby. I didn't even realize that with you in the comments. Shout out to Teresa, who is the co-host of Women Wellness Wednesday. She is new to the network. She did her first show last Wednesday. And I mean, Teresa fire or whatever. Like, just going to get into it. You got two beautiful women running Women's Wellness Wednesdays. I mean, what else can you ask for? Ain't nothing but Black excellence over here. Okay? And that's what I'm saying, Tiff. You better tell them, keep the skin extra smooth and smelling good. Okay, and smelling delicious. You smell delicious, all right? And so, yes, make sure y'all go head on over there and get all of your merch. Yes, the website is right there, best friend, www.bigexclusivemerch.com. If not, I can send you the link afterwards so y'all can go on and get y'all stuff. I ain't biased, but go on and get y'all Melanated Vibrations stuff. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So I feel like y'all already know my intentions. I woke up and I chose violence like the rest of the African Americans in the world, and I'm here for it. So that is my intention. We love you more, Teresa. So that's what I'm bringing into this space. Okay, I do be having dry arms. I do. Yes, unfortunately, I'm African American, and the skin gets a little dry. So baby, you gotta go and get that body butter. Okay, you gotta go and get that soothe. Okay, soothing. That's all I'm saying to you. So that's my intention. Sis, what you bringing? Because I'm always choosing violence. So what you bringing into this space?
Everything Black.
Everything Black. Period.
Black.
Black. Y'all see this? Black. Well, let's go this way. Forgot my camera's Black. Y'all see this? Stop playing with us. You tell them everything Black. I love that for you. I love that for us. All right. So STDs. What is an STD? An STD stands for sexually transmitted disease. So an infection transmitted through sexual contact caused by bacteria, viruses, or parasites. So let's go through the list of STDs and STIs. That's it. I love that for you. Tiff, are you sipping some wine, darling? Are you having some wine? Because I'm having some wine. Are you having some wine? Let me know in the comments. So the very first one we're going to address is HPV. Human papilloma virus infection, HPV. So that is an infection that causes warts in various parts of the body, depending on the strand. I knew it, Tiff. I knew you were sipping wine, as you should, girl. We work hard. Mm-hmm. The next one is genital herpes. So a common sexually transmitted infection marked by genital pain and sores. Chlamydia, a common sexually transmitted infection that may cause symptoms. Gonorrhea, a sexually transmitted bacteria infection that, if untreated, may cause infertility. Syphilis, because I'm going to save this other one for last. Syphilis, a bacterial infection usually spread by sexual contact that starts as a painless sore. HIV. HIV is a human immunodeficiency virus. It is a virus that attacks the body's immune system. If HIV is not treated, it can lead to AIDS, which is an acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. There is currently no effective cure, but once people get HIV, they have it for life. So AIDS and HIV. So you unfortunately contract HIV, it will, if not treated, it will lead to full-blown AIDS. So let's talk about STDs in the Black community. Really all of them, but of course, we're going to hone in on HIV and AIDS. So growing attention to health disparities could create a timely opportunity to raise awareness about sexually transmitted diseases, which saw a concerning increase during the pandemic. So apparently, according to the CDC, there was a spike in STDs. Hey, Lamit. Apparently, there was a spike in STDs within the Black community. Oh, dear Lord, who's capping?
What's going on?
I don't know, but I'm going to get back to what I was saying. According to the CDC, there was an increase in STDs during the pandemic. I can only imagine why. And so after a decline in the first month of the coronavirus pandemic, STD cases rose by the end of 2020. Reported cases of gonorrhea and primary and secondary syphilis, because there's two types of syphilis, primary, secondary, increased by 10% and 7%. Since 2019, the data shows, and then since 2016, gonorrhea cases have increased by 45%. Black Americans have the highest rate of each of these STDs across any other racial group. Chlamydia was the only reported infection for cases that declined. Though experts say that it is likely due to the decline in screenings during the pandemic, the decline was 1%. So what studies have found is that maybe the numbers really did not decrease during the pandemic, but because we were so focused on the coronavirus pandemic, resources became limited. So testing sites to get tested were shut down and then turned into coronavirus testing sites. Just people trying to get doctor's appointments, unable to get doctor's appointments. And oh, Jesus, that lightning was something crazy, Lord. Trying to get doctor's appointments because, they may be showing symptoms or may suspect something was super hard during the pandemic. So it was very hard for people to get doctor's appointments, and currently still is. There is still a wait for a lot of different things. All right, God, I'm trying to educate the people. You don't want me to educate the people? God is talking, and I just felt like I should listen to him for a second. You don't hear thunder on your side?
I hear thunder and I hear cops. I hear whatever out here.
There's a lot happening on your side, child. It's populated. But because of the coronavirus, resources were limited. And so there was moments in 2020 when it felt like the world was standing still, but STDs weren't, said Dr. Jonathan Merman, who is the director of the CDC's National Center for HIV, viral hepatitis, STDs, and TB prevention. He says the unrelenting momentum of STD.
You heard too.
All right, Reek. So it's not just me. I just want to make sure I'm not crazy. The unrelenting momentum of STD epidemic continued even as STD prevention services were disrupted. So again, during the pandemic, resources became a little limited. It's doing something. They upstairs bowling. The angels got to be bowling. That's the ancestors celebrating. Got to be. Love that for them. So there was a slight decline in reported cases early in 2020, likely due to the diversion of public health resources to address the pandemic. Lapse in insurance coverages due to unemployment, because a bunch of people got laid off during the pandemic. So if you're laid off, you don't work, you don't have insurance, how do you go get tested? The reduction of in-person routine health visits. Again, everybody was trying to do telehealth when people needed to be inside the building. And a shortage of STD labs, according to the CDC. So those factors complicated STD testing and treatment, which are critical to reducing the spread. And with the lack of testing early on, the data lags. Black women are the hardest hit by chlamydia cases. And Black men face a disproportionately high rate of gonorrhea and syphilis cases. The chlamydia cases are largely driven by young adults ages 15 to 24, the data shows. And among gonorrhea cases, men account for more cases than women. Like other health disparities, experts say that in the sexual health is driven by factors like access to quality health care and comprehensive sex education. So I want to put a pause in that. I think that, unfortunately, in the Black community, sex is so taboo, and that it is like one of those things we just don't talk about. That because we don't talk about it, or we're scared to have those talk with our kids or whatever, or with our friends, that it's not something that's talked about. When we don't begin to share our experiences or educate each other or receive the knowledge that is provided to us, I think that is why our cases are so much higher than any other race. Because no one wants to talk about sex in the Black community. Nobody wants to talk about anything. You think about the kink world or just anything that encompasses sex. Like, sex is sex. It was created. It's supposed to be pleasurable. I think that if we began to talk about it more and educate people properly, that our cases would go down and the numbers would decrease within the Black community. But because we don't want to talk about it for whatever that reason is, our kids are not educated. We're not educated. I don't know about y'all, but having a sex talk with my parent, my mom, was very vague. She was like, women have this, men have this, and they do this. And I was just like,
that's all you got?
That's it. You don't got nothing else. We ain't gonna talk about nothing else. Like, I remember sex ed being, honestly, sex ed just basically told you how to get pregnant. That's what I feel like. Like, I don't really feel like it told you about the man parts, the woman parts, and all the things in between and all of that, the birds and the bees and all of that stuff. But I can't say that, honestly, it is the school's responsibility to teach our kids what it is that we should be teaching them as parents. And so as Black people, we have to get out of this taboo phase where we don't want to have the talk. We're scared to have the talk, and start having the talk. Because we're already going to be slighted just because we're Black. But that is not a reason to not educate our children or educate ourselves on all the many things. I think that the more we get out there and we talk and we share our experience, this will also help lower the cases of STDs. I think saying that you have an STD or you've had or caught an STD, it's very embarrassing and no one wants to talk about it. Absolutely, right? Like, who want to say like, oh, this person burnt me, this person did that, this, that, and third. But I think the moment that we start having those conversations, we also have to take accountability in the part that we played in it. Were you using protection? Were you having intercourse with multiple sexual partners? Were you monogamous, but your partner was polygamous or, poly? Like, was it a closed relationship? Was it an open relationship? Did y'all, what did you guys kind of agree to? I think communication is key when we are talking about relationships, even if it's a person that you just sexually active with. Like, it ain't no relationship, situationship, whatever y'all want to call it. Y'all just doing what y'all do. Y'all link up when y'all link up, and then y'all go y'all separate ways. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a conversation that still needs to be had, because while you may only be having sex with this person, and that's insane, Hannibal, that's insane. And that is why we have so many teen pregnancies, and why Philadelphia, along with other major cities like Atlanta, have the highest STD rates, because we're not educating. We're not talking about it. And so a lot of times people that don't have access to like education or, health insurance and stuff like that, they can't focus on their sexual well-being. And unfortunately, being a Black woman, we take on a lot and we risk ourselves a lot. And I'm not just saying it's just Black women, but I will speak for the Black women because I ain't never been a Black man. It is a lot. People don't have access to testing. That is a health disparity. People don't have access to condoms. They're closing down the Planned Parenthoods. Mm-hmm. They are closing down testing sites. So how do we gain access? How do we access the information that is important for us? And so access to information is important, but Black people are less likely to have access to comprehensive sex ed. Partially due to their concentration in the southern states, which tend to really teach abstinence only. So depending on what part of the world you are in, if you are in the South, they try to teach abstinence, but that is not a reality. Everybody wants to be abstinent. Some people want to get out here and pop, lock, and drop it. And so how do we make sure that we keep our people and people that look like us safe? So people are often unaware of how often to get tested. So we have the conversation of people are honest, agree.
Yep.
Agree, Tiff. Agree. Completely agree. And so that's a big thing, right? Trust, being honest, being open, because you can say you're this thing and then completely do something different. Mm-hmm. And so now you have this partner that is monogamous while you are out here dibbling and dabbling in the streets. And now you're taking the chance of bringing something back to that partner that decided to be monogamous. You see, I didn't put a gender on it. I didn't say we be out here and then men be doing. No, a lot of people be doing it, right? Everybody does it. People are just not honest as they should be, especially when it comes to this. So people are often unaware of how often they should get tested, or mistakenly believe infections are always visible. Now, big exclusive. Now, don't do that, because these statistics here show, okay, the way these numbers are set up. Mm-hmm. So people mistakenly believe that infections are visible. A myth about the prevalence of STDs are pervasive. So a lot of people believe, right, that all of these STDs and STIs, that they show up. They don't. You literally can have something for quite some time, not know you have it, and then by the time you get treated, it has worsened and turned into something else. So, yet the rates of syphilis, according to the CDC, are up more than 50% since 2016, and over 230% for cases passed, from mother to infant. Use of barrier methods to STD prevention and open, honest communication between partners are critical to reducing the spread. Since I'm very closely separated, is that right? People not being honest. So I want to play this clip, and then we are going to dive into HIV in the Black community, because we got a lot of information on that. So I actually don't even know which one I want to play first, because they're all so good. But matter of fact, we gonna play this one. As you know, I like to shake the table sometimes.
This woman went on Facebook bragging about infecting her sexual partners with HIV. She even mentioned these partners on Facebook by name.
And this video really has sent shockwaves throughout the city of America in Southwest Georgia. And now it's gone viral as well. 11 Alive's Latasha Giffens joins us. And there are so many people concerned trying to understand, A, what this is all about, and B, if she is a credible figure throughout all of this.
That's right. This is alarming, not just for her community, but for those around the state, especially when you consider the CDC has Georgia listed in the top 5 for states with the highest number of HIV infections.
I am HIV positive.
In this 1 minute and 20-second video, Brandy Yakima Lassiter of Americus, Georgia, not only states that she has HIV, but she goes on to list the men she believes she infected on purpose.
You HIV positive.
She even includes their wives and girlfriends who now may also be affected. Lassiter goes on bragging about revenge and wanting to watch them suffer.
I always get the last. Now I'm watching y'all die. I get real nasty and evil.
We talked to Major Herman Lamar with the Americus Police Department by phone. He says they are investigating her claims.
How did you guys find out about this video?
On Friday, we received several forwarded links to the video.
The original Facebook post on her page has been taken down, but the viral video still lives on YouTube. At least one person named in the video has taken action against Lassiter.
One of those individuals named in the video contacted the Americus Police Department and filed a complaint of harassing communications against Ms. Lassiter, and the investigation began at that point.
Major Lamar says part of the investigation will be to determine if Lassiter does in fact have HIV. If she does and knowingly infected others, she'll face serious charges under the Georgia law 16560, making it a crime to intentionally spread the disease. HIV.gov states about 1 in 7 people infected with HIV don't know their status. But even if it's proven this was some sort of a hoax, she could still face lesser charges. Police say there is a major takeaway regardless of how this investigation turns out.
Because it is quite alarming to anyone in any community, and we ask everyone to, if you're going to engage in risky behavior, also to practice safe sex.
And we asked police if Lassiter was under arrest, but investigators will only say she's being questioned at this time. We'll certainly keep you updated.
All right, Latasha, thanks a lot.
Dusty.
Definitely dusty behavior. Definitely dusty behavior. Big deal. And so it goes to the point of being honest, right? And so here she withheld information from the men that she was encountering, knowing they had wives, knowing they had girlfriends, decided to infect them because whoever gave it to her, she was angry, filled with hatred, held on to that, and then thought that she should punish everyone else. There's been plenty of stories like this where people knowingly have things, and because they got it, because they did not make a safe decision for themselves. This is the thing. If we are going to be adults and be out here and we are going to have sex, ladies, I'm speaking to the ladies, because again, I ain't never been a man. We have to protect us. Right. Look at Magic Johnson. Allegedly, he don't have it anymore. That's what they say. I think they drained his blood. They said some shit.
Because he taking the pill.
Blood or some shit. So anyway. Right. And so here you have it, ladies, where people are not always going to be honest with us. We know that. And so if a man decides that he does not want to use protection, one, it's probably a red flag, and you should probably go and figure that out, because just as you go get tested, that don't necessarily mean that whatever it is going to pop up right away, because it will take some time to get into your system. But two, they make female condoms. And all of that, oh, it feel good without the condom, and I'm allergic to latex. Bitch, no, you're not, because every time you go to the doctors, if you go, they put on latex gloves.
Pay the extra money and get you some lambskin. They got lambskin condoms.
We Black women have to protect ourselves, because our partners, and I'm not going to say because I don't know how everybody identifies, but our partners may not be the most honest people when it comes to situations like this. And so we have to make sure that we are protecting us. So, HIV. So did you know that more than 40% of new HIV infections in the United States occur among Black people? This is from a 2019 study. It is said that the estimates that there are 14,300 African Americans that have contracted. I didn't say that we don't be cheating, Lamets. What I said is I can only speak for the ladies and how we can protect ourselves. I don't take any blame from anybody. But ladies, protect yourself. Even if you decide to cheat on your partner, the person you are cheating with, you do not know what they have. If you got some shit and you just out here on some vengeful stuff, be kind and courteous and protect the other person. Honestly, you should stop fucking and get you a body parts cut out. But that's all another conversation. But ladies, protect yourself. Again, I cannot speak for the men. I will not speak for the men. So for all the men in the comments, y'all can go crazy. I can't speak for y'all. 10,200 are Hispanics and Latinos. 8,600 are whites. 900 are multiracial. 500 are Asians. 230 are American Indian, Alaskan natives. So this is since 2019, and I'm sure the numbers have changed. So a growing body of research shows that centuries of racism and discrimination in this country have had a profound negative impact on communities of color. We knew that, right? The impact is pervasive and deeply embedded in society, affecting where one lives, learns, works, worship, and plays, and creating inequities in access to housing, quality education, wealth, employment, and a range of other social and economical benefits. These conditions often are referred to as social determinants of health, a key driver of health inequalities, causing people within some populations to experience greater risks for poor health outcomes. The CDC estimates that as of 2019, about 1.2 million people, I ain't never seen million before, but that look like it's a lot, right? Million people in the United States have HIV. In 2019, Black people accounted for 13% of the U.S. population, but 40% of those people have HIV. So let me give you guys the math. 1.2 million people, 40% of that is 479,300 people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of Black people. Black men account for 3/4 of new HIV infections among all Black people in the United States in 2019, with 82% of infections attributed to male-to-male sexual contact. Furthermore, a CDC analyst found that Black, gay, and bisexual men are less likely to receive an HIV diagnosis to prevent HIV and be virally suppressed compared to white, gay, and bisexual men. For Black women, 91% of new HIV infections are attributed to heterosexual contact, while the HIV infection rate among Black women was the highest compared to women of all other races and ethnicities. I would like to not add this part in here, but I will. Additionally, a recent CDC study found that Black transgender women accounted for 62% of HIV infections among transgender women with HIV living in 7 major U.S. cities. So what are the stages of HIV? When people have HIV and they don't get treated, they typically progress through 3 stages. But HIV treatment can slow or prevent progress of the disease. With advances in HIV treatment, progression to stage 3, which is AIDS, is less common today than in the earlier years of HIV. So the very first stage is acute HIV infection. People have a large amount of HIV in their blood and are very contagious. Many people have flu-like symptoms. And if you have flu-like symptoms and think you may have been exposed to HIV, please get tested. Stage 2 is chronic HIV infection. This stage is also called asymptomatic HIV infection or clinical latency. Latency.
Resistant.
Yeah, right. HIV is still active and continues to reproduce in the body, people may have no symptoms or get sick during this phase, but can transmit HIV. People who take HIV treatment as prescribed may never move into stage 3, which is full-blown AIDS, which we talked about earlier. Without HIV treatment, the stage may last a decade or longer, or may progress faster. At the end of the stage, the amount of HIV in the blood, which is the viral load, goes up, and the person may move into stage 3, which is full-blown AIDS. The most severe stage of HIV infection, which is stage 2, people with AIDS can have a high viral load and may easily transmit HIV to others. People with AIDS have badly damaged immune systems. This can get an increasing number of opportunistic infections or other serious illnesses. Without HIV treatment, people with AIDS typically survive about 3 years.
I'm gonna add to what you just said.
Please do. That's why I got quiet.
So I'm just learning about AIDS now. So
yeah, shout out to my sister, right, y'all? She just got a new job making coins bank. Okay, and one of the populations that she is servicing is people with HIV and AIDS. Don't educate us, sis. Mm-hmm.
So basically, what I'm learning about, like the people I serve, I'm learning about looking for, when I do intake, I have to do the CD4 count. Basically the blood cells. It's basically what helps you fight off that disease, like your immune system. It's like basically how many like fighters you have in the game to actually knock out like 2,000 or something like that. So it goes by count. So the count is the difference between you being HIV and AIDS. You can pander between AIDS and you can pander between HIV. I didn't know you could keep going back and forth, because one of the clients I will have, he actually has been considered AIDS. So depending on his lab work at that time, however many years ago, he had AIDS, but then he dropped back down to HIV positive. Thank you. So he basically his thing, it like went up, it went down, it went up, it went down. So if you have a low CD4 count below 500 cells per cubic millimeter, if you have HIV, a low CD4 count means that HIV has weakened your immune system. A CD4 count of 200 or fewer cells per cubic millimeter means that you have AIDS. With AIDS, you have a high of 200 or fewer cells per cubic millimeter means that you have with AIDS, you have a high risk, of developing life-threatening infections or cancers. So I didn't know that your body could get cancers from having the HIV. You'll have like cancer, and then they'll have like other chronic illnesses that came from them not having an immune system. So if it's like 200, I think it's like 200, if you drop in between, like if you're at 300, it's not really like spreadable. It's not transferable, but it still can, like, it might be undetectable, but then it might still show up in your labs. But if it falls like lower, basically what will happen is you will be considered AIDS. Like, you can't take your meds. What I'm learning is you can't take your meds for like a full-blown 30 days and then stop taking your meds for 2 months. You will have what she just say, like the latency, the resistance. So that means if you're on Biktarvy right now, you have built like a resistance from those cells up against the Biktarvy, and then you have to take another thing like Truvada or something. It's like, I think it's like only like 10 pills that make you undetectable from what I was reading. So then if you mess up with that one, then you'll have to move to another one, and then you'll have like 3 or 4 pills when you could have just had one pill that would have completely just left you undetectable. So what I'm also learning is that I think the majority of the cases are heterosexual Black people, at least like 75% of them. A lot of the contact is male to male, or we call it perinatal. Perinatal is if you're born with it. There are some people who are born with the HIV from parents having it. It was either given to them, they weren't like promiscuous or something, or they were doing drugs. They could have done a dirty needle. I mean, you name it. It could have been anything, and they were born with it. Also, what I'm learning is this stuff really has no face. Like it just anybody just could be walking around here, and you would never know. As long as they take care of themselves, it pretty much you'll have like a full lasting. You can work. You can have sex with one partner. You can have sex with that person unprotected, and it won't be transferable as long as you keep your legs good. So it was crazy to me how I was reading and reading and reading, and I'm like, why is my people getting this? Why is my people getting this? And they identify as heterosexual, and a lot of times the male got it from I would say a homosexual thing. One guy, he did it for, like, some people, they would do it for money. They would be, I guess, sleeping with men for money kind of thing. Or they was, I guess, on the down low. But a lot of them identify as heterosexuals, or the women got it from either the born or the man was giving it to them. Not to say that men are all bad or whatever, but a lot of times the man is giving it to the woman in a heterosexual setting, but who knows where he got it from.
I feel like HIV and AIDS, the virus itself, is something that was created in a lab. Because when you look at the history of HIV and AIDS, this is what they say. They say that there was some infected chimpanzees.
I saw that. And I was
Africa.
Yeah, okay.
Stay with me, black people. It was some infected chimpanzees over in Africa. And that when they went to go hunt them so that they could kill them for the meat, that they came in contact with the infected blood. So riddle me this. If they came in contact with the infected blood, how is it now a sexually transmitted disease?
So what I learned in middle school, because I was privileged enough to go to an all-black melanated school. Mm-hmm. So they taught us was that the European people, the mayonnaise-colored colonizers, what they decided to do, they were in Europe with Christopher Columbus and all his homies, all his niggas. And they were just like parading around with all these diseases, the AIDS, the HIV, the syphilises, all the immuno diseases you can think of, because they were, not to be smart, they were uncut. They were unclean. They were dirty. They weren't cleaning their teeth.
It ain't about being smart. That's a fact.
Insides, they were very, very dirty people. So when they came over to like colonize Africa, what happened was they brought all those diseases over to Africa, because as black people, they had all the natural berries, all the fruits, all the detoxes. They had the natural things. The Native American people had the same thing. When they colonized on them, they didn't have all those diseases. They took care of their teeth. They came over with dirty teeth. They ain't go see no dentists. They ain't fix it. They didn't wash. They didn't floss. They didn't do none of that. They didn't even take care of their skin. We had shea butter. Shea butter come outside of a big old thing that comes off a tree and falls down. We started that whole lotion thing and all that. So these people were just dirty, and they came over to Africa and was like, oh, okay, we just gonna come over here and do all of that.
Oh, so then they started to rape our women and then spread the disease.
And spread the disease. Whatever they
have always been dirty, and they've always been the problem. I'm just going to say it. Right. And fucking animals. Like, let's talk about that, royalty. That's what they do. What is it? What is it? Bestiology or something like that? It's like
having sex.
Like,
but why the chimpanzee?
Every sickness. Like, you know why they picked the monkey? Because they say that we evolved from the monkey, and they tried to say that monkeys and black people have the closest DNA, or humans and monkeys have the closest DNA. Chimpanzees are the closest animal that has, or genetics to people.
Because the Neanderthals were half man and half gorilla, or whatever you call it. So if you go back in time and you see those men, they had like the face of monkeys. That's why they consider us half, what is it, 3/4 of a human, 3/4 of an animal, whatever you call it in the Constitution. Now the crack and cocaine thing in the hood, my theory about that was, I felt like they felt the desperation of black people after a certain amount of time when the crack and cocaine hit, like the 70s, the 80s, or whatever. So it was desperation in the black community, I think. And I feel like they just was like, let's see if we travel this here. Like the white people, the colonizers went, where you get it from, like Colombia or something like that? Whatever, I'm doing a history line. So they took it from there, and it was like, oh, we can do whatever we want. Oh, we sell it by the multiples. We can add X amount or whatever and make more or whatever, right? I think they dropped it in the hood in the desperation of the black people. We ain't had no other choice.
Population control. White people have always population controlled us.
Just like the Asians do.
Absolutely. I agree, Big Exclusive. They gave us HIV and AIDS because it was for population control.
Because it was for population control.
Listen, I think that you look at the Tuskegee experiment, how that shit happened over years and years and years, and we wonder why we don't trust the government. White people have always used black people as their test subjects to see if they would be able to survive certain shit. So y'all came over here with all y'all nastiness and diseases and y'all unkeptness and y'all uncleanness and y'all unholiness. And then y'all decided, test dummies for everything. And y'all decided that y'all wanted to go in and rape our women and our men and give us stuff. And so now we are out here spreading it because we had no knowledge of it. We had no medicine. We were dying by the hundreds. Like,
what about Henrietta Lacks? Why did they just allow Henrietta Lacks? Why did they just pay her family the amount of money that was owed after y'all have cured so many?
How y'all gonna take that woman's body and do research and science and don't ask her family or get no permission? This is what I'm saying. We have always been test subjects. And y'all want to shit in Alabama just happened, baby. We tired. And we're going to continue to fight back because, again, united we stand. We are a force to be reckoned with if we stand. All black and brown people. I don't give a shit if you are from Ghana, Haiti, Jamaica.
We got to stop.
Listen, I don't care where you're from. The United States, we are all black and brown people. Agree. They still colonize everything. They do not have culture. They don't have anything because they take from everyone. You have nothing.
So
nothing. Sorry.
So the Bible. Okay, this was what I was thinking about the Bible. I was talking to one of my homies about this. The Bible speaks about people who are more brown.
Jesus was brown.
Where did they come from?
Jesus was brown.
Jesus was definitely like
olive tone skin, hair of wool.
I think he was definitely a very brown
olive tone skin, hair of wool.
Here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Have culture.
Where did it come from?
This is the thing. First of all, white is not a race. Can we put a pin in that? White is not a race. White is a color. Just like black is not a race, but African American is a race because it comes from something. It comes from a culture. Being white is a color, but it is not a race. They do not have culture because they steal from everyone. White people in America have no culture. Now, if you are from a different country, if you are white and you are from a different country, Europe,
Caucasus,
the mountain of Caucasus. Yes, the mountain of Caucasus. Racist
right.
Agree, Big Exclusive. And so if you are a non-melanated person who is from an actual place that actually has culture, I'm talking about culture, music, food, clothes, dance.
That's interesting.
Culture is.
Go back to that comment.
Let's go back up because I didn't see it.
About how the population. So my thing was how the first people was here. Now the first people was here was us, but where did all the I'm not trying to be smart about the other brown people and the Asian people. Where did these people come from? Where did
there was us and then there was everyone else.
There was but didn't the Bible say that like us as suppressed people and slaves or something like that eventually we will rise up and realize, like basically in a nutshell, realize what type of power that we have.
Child, the revolution will not be televised. We start to rise up.
That's why I said I think this is exactly what it says when the suppressed people. We are the suppressed people.
Agree, Big Exclusive.
Yes.
You go to museums. Ask me what in a museum is of white culture. Go ahead, I'll wait. There is nothing in any museum that is from white people because they have no culture. What they do is they steal from everybody else's culture and then put it in a building, call it a museum, and then charge us to go.
Did you see the American Revolution Museum?
Yes. If I agree, we definitely could do a show on it. Let me know. Yeah. Let's set it up. White people don't have culture. They have nothing because they steal, destroy, kill to get what they have. They do not have culture. They don't have a specific food, a specific dance. They emulate and copy everything that every other race does. And let's be clear, they're not the only ones that do it. Culture vultures.
And the Asian people were black at one point. The
Asian people do the same thing. If you go down South Philly, you go down 7th Street where you have the Cambodians and some of them Asian people, they ride around hip hop and R&B music, trying to talk like us and trying to dress like us. This is the thing with white people. They will always be the dominant race because they move the bar when it is convenient for them of what it is to be white. We can't move the bar on what it is to be black, baby, or be African American. It's just black. You can see.
Why do everybody want braids?
You can see it.
Why do everybody want braids? Your hair cannot be braided. If your hair cannot be braided, it is very fine. Take that shit out your.
But I will say, shout out to all those Caribbean islands that decide to braid those white women's hair, white girls' hair, and get your money. I ain't having none of that shit.
I mean reparation, but
exactly. Exactly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Race was created to separate us. We are the dominant race. We are the dominant culture. And the moment that we realize we run all of this shit,
I think we get there.
That boat was scared.
This race war is happening.
Oh, the race war has begun.
It's already started.
The same way y'all can go to January 6th and storm the Capitol. That's when y'all start. Black people gonna be out here on a united front beating y'all ass every time y'all feel the need to say something that is disrespectful to us. We will not stand still anymore. We will not be quiet, baby. We are our ancestors and 10 times better. Fuck around and find out as a person, baby, it will be you. Because I'm with whatever. So, yeah, our ancestors died because for us to be here. They went through God knows what for us to be here. We come from so many different beautiful tribes.
Right, got my hair ready.
We need to find out. Everybody should do a Black ancestry DNA test to find out what tribe you are from and embrace who you are, because we have culture. We have food. White people out here trying to make soul food. You don't even understand the educational piece that comes with soul food. Soul food was created by Black people because those were the scraps of what we got.
Those were the scraps of what we got.
Those were the scraps that were fed to us, and we made it a meal. It came from the soul. It was prepared with love.
Because we know how to
commune together as Black people, even in the midst of our situation. And
we can sit together with
mayonnaise people out here trying to make macaroni and cheese.
Why are you making green?
Raisins in it, making potato salad crunchy. Like, what are you doing? There's just too much mustard in there.
Warm potato salad.
A whole nother conversation, and I'm not going to get
warm
into
potato salad.
They frustrate my spirit. Y'all out there trying to fry chicken. Everybody love Korean fried chicken, not realizing Korean fried chicken was discovered by a Black man. We taught y'all that because, again, there was us.
In the war, because we was on the front lines in the war, and that's how y'all learned it.
There was us, and then there were you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always going to stand with my Black people, because why wouldn't I?
Everything better.
Everything. And if we decided to take everything that we invented, not the shit that they stole from us and put a patent on, a copyright said that they created. I'm talking about the stuff that we invented, and we pulled all of our resources and went back to our country, as they always tell us, go back to Africa. This country would fall. We are the blueprint. It is us, and then it is everyone else. And every race has tried to assimilate who we are, and you cannot. The braids, the tanning, getting big lips so y'all get filters, going out here and getting BBL so y'all can have hips and ass like most Black natural women have. Y'all girls just going out here get y'all BBL. Shout out to y'all. Ain't no hate in my blood, baby, because I was already stacked like this, so I don't have to go do that. No tea, no shade. But everything that we come with, they try to take, because it is us and then it is them. Blonde hair did not come from white people. Blue eyes did not come from white people. If you go, there are plenty of Black people, beautiful brown-skinned people with natural blonde hair and blue eyes.
Mm-hmm. In Africa.
They definitely can go back to where they came from. They love telling us to go back, but where did you come from?
You don't even know.
Where did you come from? Where are your people from?
Christopher Columbus was from Europe.
Irish descent.
Yes, he was
European descent. We are not the only ones that can go back to where we came from, because the reality of it is none of us belong here. And my folks ain't asked y'all to kidnap us. Y'all could have left us where we was at.
Right. Chilling.
Go back to where I'm at, baby. Kenya's president already told us we can come back. Okay? The president of Kenya put out a message and said that all Black people are
He said,
welcome to
"Oh,
citizenship.
all
Don't
black people
leave with
come
a good
home."
time. Don't threaten it. Listen, Tiff, because they not right. Listen, we can have that conversation. We can make that a 2-hour show because that's how long it's going to take. We are the blueprints. They steal everything: our food, our culture, our dance, everything. Whatever we have, they want, because again, we are the blueprint. We the cool kids on the block. We've always been the cool kids. And I need for us as black people to realize that and understand that. We don't have to be like anybody else when we can just be us, because everyone else is trying to be like us.
Didn't they ban black people from TikTok? The Asian people?
Child, you remember when they did that and then TikTok sank because all of the creators were black, and again, y'all have no culture, no nothing. So what are you going to do without us?
Y'all don't even have no culture as Asians like that. I mean,
y'all do that little hip hop dances. Y'all be dancing to our songs.
That fried rice hit though. I ain't gonna lie. That little man be hitting. Them dumplings be hitting. I ain't gonna lie to you. They can have that one. And
because they have culture. Asian people have culture, so they have something to bring to the table. But y'all still not us.
Y'all still dancing hip hop and singing.
Again, they have culture. You go to Asia, any part of Asia, they have culture. They have something they can bring to the table. Everyone emulates us. There is not one race or culture of people that does not try to do something that black people do. Even the people that think that talking slang or ghetto is how black people talk and all of this patting of the head. Yes, baby, you are presenting the stereotype of what they think all black people are, but that is not who we are as a race.
White women are wearing bonnets now.
And no one is saying anything.
And no one's saying nothing. And I'm like, y'all not offended?
Dominique, you got anything to say out there, sweet?
Because you was all with it before.
When it was black women, you had so much to say. Please let us know how you feel about these colonizers wearing bonnets.
Wearing bonnets.
Again, when have white women wore bonnets? Why do y'all need to braid your hair?
Why you gotta cover your hair? It's gonna stay the same.
I saw this video that pissed me off the other day. It was a white woman. She was in Target. She decided to put black makeup on her white face and went into the Target as blackface and was being very racist. And I said, the fact that y'all let this Caucasian, this non-melanated person walk out of Target, I'm very disappointed because, baby,
and y'all cool with it.
Blackface would have been dragged all up and down from aisle 1 to 15 up and down at Target, and I would have sat there and waited for the police.
Like they dragged Rachel Dollars off? Yeah.
Blackface. I understand.
I mean, we get that, but I'm saying
we're gonna speak on it. We all got to. We got to make it a fair playing field.
Keep that same energy.
That's all I'm saying. You seen it, Tiff? She had makeup on, and they were approaching her. Even a white woman was in the store mad about the shit. A white woman was in there mad, cussing her out.
She thought it was funny. That's the same.
She did think it was funny, and she got in her car and told everyone to find her on Facebook. Because what she does not understand is that when it comes to black Twitter and black culture, baby, we're gonna find you.
We're gonna find
you. Work at. We might be standing outside your house protesting, where you're gonna need the police to come and protect you, and then you're going to lose your job because a part of your privilege thinks that you are above the law. It's giving very much hate crime for me. I don't know. Throw a charge on there like they do us. So, anywho, 2 more videos, and then we are out of here. Yeah, child, I could talk about the white folks all day because they bother my spirit, Lord. They bother my spirit.
Hey. The doctor was really nice. He cried in the office for about an hour or so.
About 6 months ago, the doctor told this 27-year-old woman she has genital herpes. She's not alone. About half of African-American women have the sexually transmitted disease. There is medication to suppress flare-ups of herpes, but no cure. She wants to remain anonymous because she worries her health, sexuality, and her chance for love are irreparably damaged.
It's something that would happen maybe a couple of times a year, yes, but I mean, with just the slightest touch, I can always give it to somebody else.
It increases your risk of acquiring HIV by 2 to 3-fold. So we're worried about it because if you actually acquire the HSV2 virus, then you are more susceptible or more likely then to acquire the HIV virus.
Dr. LaShawn Taylor led a recent CDC study indicating that 1 in 6 Americans between the ages of 14 and 49 are infected with herpes. The symptoms could be redness in the genital area, blisters, pain, or just soreness. Still, many people don't show any signs of this lifelong and incurable infection. That creates dangerous consequences for African American women. Experts say the stigma associated with having an STD hinders efforts to combat the infection.
It's psychological and social. Some, as I said, make the moral decision to not disclose, and others decide the best thing to do is to be honest, and they do, and they take their chances.
The CDC has an ongoing effort to increase awareness and lower the genital herpes infection rate. Still, this young woman wants the movement to work harder. Lila Ibrahim, The Associated Press.
At all. I'm very afraid to. My first.
So there is that. Last one.
Yes, go get your Cootie Cat checked.
Please and thank you. Please and thank you, because we have to protect us. Yeah, half. Yeah, those are some statistics. Last one. I think this is the one. Yep.
HIV screenings as part of an effort to stem the spread of a deadly killer. About 1/4 of infected Americans don't know they have the disease, and this team is worried about one particular demographic.
So back in the day, they used to say that this was a white gay disease. Guess who the face of HIV is now? Me and you.
HIV/AIDS is the #1 cause of death among African American women between the ages of 25 and 34. It's killing them at more than 20 times the rate of white women. But still, many are too scared to speak up about protection.
We got to be responsible for our actions and make our brothers know it's not an option. Baby, use a condom.
Why don't they tell the guy what we're gonna use? Condoms. Why? Why they don't do it? Because they fear rejection. Men has the power. I've seen a lot of that down here. Men, yeah, they had the power.
Advocates are trying to give women the knowledge and confidence they need to prevent the spread of the disease.
Your results are right here. You're negative.
They say women need to be able to assert themselves with their sexual partners. And some predict that if the majority of Black women don't take steps to guard against getting infected, the results will be devastating.
There will be a time capsule in the future that will be open, and it will say that in the 21st century, there was an epidemic, and that epidemic was called HIV/AIDS. And there were people, and they were called African Americans. The only way you will be able to see what we look like will be in some museum.
The Obama administration recently asked for $6.5 billion to fight HIV/AIDS overseas, while less than $1 billion is being spent on prevention domestically. It's an amount that critics argue is not enough to stem the growing epidemic at home.
Keep it quilted.
There you have it, people. Again, I cannot speak for Black men, but I will speak to Black men, Black women, Black men. We have to do better. We have to be safe. We're going to talk about it, Tiff. I want us to protect ourselves as a race. I'm not pinning one gender against the other gender. I absolutely agree.
That's exactly what it is.
I absolutely agree. I think that this was a disease that was created for population control and to kill us off as a race. Just like everything else that they come out with that tries to kill us as Black people off as a race. I want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to be safe. I want you guys to practice safe sex. Again, you cannot, you may not be in control of like who the person you decide to have sex with is engaged with, but I think open lines of communication, honesty is important. If you are practicing monogamy, but that person decides that they are practicing polyamory or polygamy of any sort, and that is not what you want, it is okay to step off. You do not, child, you already know.
I think I know what you're talking
about. It's always phobia or phobic when you do not agree.
Yeah, it's probably what I think.
It's always phobic or phobia when you do not agree with something.
When you do not agree with
is you can be abstinent if that is a choice that you decide to make. I don't knock anybody for deciding to be abstinent. It probably really is the safest thing that you can do. But if that is a choice that you have not decided to make, please, 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 please use condoms. They have condoms for men. They have condoms for women. They have so many different condoms that feel very differently. You can figure out what it is that you like. Excuse me, what goes with, your body and how your body feels when you use protection. Please be safe. To all the people that are cheating or cheated, or just realize that when you do things like that and you step outside of that trusted, open, honest relationship, that honest relationship you've had with that person, that you put not only yourself, but everyone else in danger when you decide to do that. Here on Melanated Vibrations, we do not judge. I have no room to judge anybody. I have my own. There you go. I have my own sins that I will have to answer for when that day comes. Either God gonna come first or the aliens, not really sure. But seriously, I have my own things that I need to answer for. So I judge no one. All I can do is try to educate you guys and to tell you to be as safe as you can be. Black people, we have to do better. We have to start talking about it. Sex cannot be taboo. Sex cannot be something that we're afraid to teach our kids and to talk about, because if we don't protect them, who will? Protect yourself, Black men. Protect yourself, Black women. Whatever it is, if you are on the down low, you are bisexual, you are straight, I don't care what you identify as or what it is, just make sure that you are protecting yourself, and that you are not out here passing around something that you can't get rid of. We don't want anything that we cannot get rid of. Sure, we don't want anything, but most specifically, we do not want anything that is going to be a life-altering disease. HIV and full-blown AIDS is an autoimmune deficiency virus that makes you very prone and susceptible to something as simple as the common cold. So I encourage you, I implore you to make sure that you are being safe, that you are protecting yourself, that you are protecting others. And if you are afraid to go get tested because you are scared of the results, I will go with you. I get tested very often. Even when I was in a relationship with the same person, I made sure that I got tested. I got tested after my last relationship, and I've been tested a couple times since then, because again, a lot of these diseases take some time to pop up in your system. It is nothing wrong with making an appointment. It is nothing wrong with getting your blood taken. It is nothing wrong with getting tested to make sure that you are living your healthiest life that you can live. As Black people, we are already prone to so much. We don't need to add nothing else onto our palate. I love you guys. Make sure you stay tuned. Go ahead, take your bathroom break. Go get some more wine, because that's what I'm gonna do. Go get you some food or whatever you need. Make sure you tune in to the Big Exclusive Network at 8:30, where we are going to talk about the whole Alabama riverfront incident. Like, we want y'all feedback. We want to know how y'all feel about it. And let's talk as Black people. Like, let's get to it, because why not? Transparency is everything. Exactly, Tiff. Every 6 months, royalty. Every 6 months, go get tested. Any reason for no reason at all. You can never be too safe. You can never be too careful. And I need those numbers to go down for us as Black people. Let's start talking about it. Let's educate our people. Sis, any last words for the good people?
I just want us to change the narrative. Like I told y'all, that 75%. I would love for it to go down to 20, so that we can be where our counterparts are. So just be safe, protect yourself, have that open, honest conversation. Just be careful.
Be careful, guys. Protect yourself. We love you. We'll see you next Monday on Melanated Vibrations. Make sure you tune in at 8:30 for a special episode on the BEN, where we are going to talk about the Alabama riverfront. We're going to continue to stir the pot for tonight. And if I don't see you guys in the comments at 8:30, I will see you guys for the rest of the week on the Big Exclusive podcast that comes on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Women Wellness Wednesdays at 6 p.m., According to Jim at 7, and Unlatched at 9 p.m. on Fridays. So we're giving you what you need. Oh, and Poppy Montega, I don't know if he's in the comments, but he just launched his pilot episode, Culture Accountability. So make sure you guys are watching for that, because, yeah, we're going to hold the culture accountable. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye.
Hey, good people. Welcome to Melanated Vibrations, a new show that celebrates the diversity and richness of Black culture.